My name is George, and as my partner has already established, the both of us will be affirming the resolution. Resolved that the U.S. federal government should substantially increase space exploration through the support for unmanned space travel. In a government space program that is looking for future exploration throughout space, unmanned missions far outweigh the benefits that manned missions present. Despite the facts that my opponents have presented, and as Jerry has already stated, the negative must prove why manned missions far outweigh unmanned missions, not whether the space program should continue missions at all. Now, Allen's contentions, such as poverty, may not be used in consideration because these contentions are not effectively disputing the resolution. Now, to begin, the affirmative believes that in my first contention that unmanned missions provide the brightest possible future for our country's space program because of the possible profits and jobs that this might produce. Currently, the unmanned production, such as the building of satellites and the production of rovers, constitute roughly 14,000 jobs of the roughly 18,000 employees that NASA hires from NASA.gov. That is over 77% of the jobs employed by NASA. Any increase in the field of unmanned spacecraft will only provide more jobs for the American people. Contention 2. Additionally, the budget currently allocated toward NASA by the government is not nearly enough to sustain the future programs that NASA has already proposed. Currently, NASA has proposed three rovers sitting on the table. One is an offer to visit the moon, the other is an offer to visit Venus, and the last one is an offer to visit an asteroid. Unfortunately, NASA is only allocated $650 million to fund these projects, which includes research, development of the spacecraft, and the launch, meaning that only one of these worthwhile future benefits will be lifted off the ground, because each rover costs around $650 million to produce. Shifting necessary funds toward NASA's unmanned spacecraft will allow the program to properly fund the projects that may yield beneficial results. With these factors in mind, the affirmative would like to propose the following plan. First, the government will allocate more funds toward NASA, upwards to $55.45 billion from the current $18.45 billion from 2001, tripling the current budget. And we propose that 27% of this new budget, or $15 billion, be used in the development of unmanned spacecraft such as satellites and rovers to further extend our knowledge of the universe. The rest of this budget may be used for research and development and for other branches of the program. Thus, Allen's point on cutting NASA's other programs and shifting necessary funds toward unmanned spacecraft is also void and null, since we are providing more money to these other branches of the government. Second, with the new budget, the production of rovers and satellites will also be greatly increased. As stated before, the affirmative would hope to increase the budget for unmanned missions from $650 million to $15 billion. With the extra money, operations such as trips to asteroids, the moon, and Venus could all happen quickly and possibly return positive results. Currently, as Alan has already stated, there are over 65 unmanned missions planned out for the future development of NASA, with the majority of them being satellites. Now, each satellite, according to NPR, costs about $50 million. If we put in $15 billion, that equals a bunch more satellites, like hundreds more satellites. The affirmative believes that the extra $15 billion boost, with the $15 billion boost, there can be more production of both rovers to populate asteroids and satellites to discover what is outside of our solar system. These rovers that will be developed will be used to simply explore the secrets of the universe, and the satellites will also be put into orbit to further extend the knowledge of the universe. In conclusion, the affirmative would like to reiterate the negative points of poverty and cutting NASA's other budgets are unrelated to this debate between manned and unmanned missions, and which would yield the best results. The affirmative plan would relatively be cost-efficient and successful in promoting the development of new unmanned spacecrafts that would generally enhance our knowledge of the universe around us. NASA's mission statement, to reach for new heights and reveal the unknown so that what we do and learn will benefit all humankind, end quote, is true the affirmative stance. In order to learn more about the universe, we must provide a stronger foundation upon which NASA can grow upon. Thank you, and I urge you to affirm.